Okay, today we are doing page 197 and 198. 197 and 198. This is using divisibility rules. Now we've learned about what those divisibility rules are, and now what we're going to be doing is taking what we've learned and reducing fractions with that. Taking really large numbers, in the hundreds even here in number 1, and we're reducing it simply using our divisibility rules. Okay, so our first one, 1a, it's asking us to reduce using the divisibility rules. And 1a, we have 8 over 16. Now, and it says there, 8 and 6 are divisible by blank. What are 8? I'm sorry, I said 8 and 6. What are 8 and 16 both divisible by? What's the number that goes into both 8 and 16? 8 would go into both, but let's just put a 4 in that first blank. Write 4. And below your 8 over 16, 4 goes into 8 2 times. I want you to write 2 over, and 4 goes into 16 4 times. So we get 2 over 4. And then the next thing it asks is 2 and 4 are divisible by blank. Well, 2 and 4, what goes into both 2 and 4? 2 does. So now we're looking at this fraction here. 2 goes into 2 1 time. 2 goes into our 4 2 times. And you have 1 over 2. Go ahead and circle that. That'll be our reduced fraction of 8 over 16. So let's go across to b. I know this might be confusing, but as we do these, I hope it gets to a point where you understand it better. b, we start with 5 over 15. And it says 5 and 15 are divisible by... What are 5 and 15 both divisible by? 5. Go ahead and write 5 in that blank that they have. And then we need to reduce our fraction using this 5. 5 goes into 5 1 time. 5 goes into 15 3 times. And so our reduced fraction is 1 over 3. C. Now the numbers are starting to get bigger. We have 27 over 81. And as these numbers get bigger, there's going to be value in that we've taken time to learn our divisibility rules. It says 27 and 81 are divisible by what? There's a blank there. What goes into both 27 and 81? Well, if you remember the divisibility rule for 9 was you needed to add up the digits and figure out the sum. And if 9 would go into that, then it's divisible by 9. Meaning, let's start with our 27 here. You add up your sum of digits there. It'd be 2 plus 7. 2 plus 7. When you add those up, now I did 2 here and 7 here. When we add those up, we get 9. Well, 9 goes into 9, of course. And if we add up our 8 plus 1, added up our digits here, we were able to see that that equals 9, and 9 goes into 9 too. And that's our divisibility rule for 9. And so what we've come up with here is we don't need to know how many times, but we just know that 9 will go into both 27 and 9 will go into 81. Let's put our 9 in the blank over there. 9 goes into 27 3 times. You can write this below also. 9 goes into 81 9 times. Then the next question is 3 and 9 are divisible by... Well, 3 and 9 are both divisible by 3. 3 goes into 3 1 time, and 3 goes into 9 3 times. And we now have our reduced fraction. Started from there, 27 over 81, and we've reduced it all the way down to 1/3. That is our answer, 1/3. Okay, here we go. D, getting even a little bigger here, at least for our numerator, 33 over 36. And the first question they're asking, the one question here for D, 33 and 36 are divisible by what? What goes into both 33 and 36? Well, thinking about your divisibility rules, I want to remind you the divisibility rule for 3 is adding up the sum of the digits. Does 3 go into it? Let's see if that works. And I know ahead of time it's going to. 3 plus 3 is, when we do our sum, we're saying adding them up. So 3 plus 3, and that gives us 6. Does 3 go into 6 evenly? Yes. So now we know that 3 does go into 33 evenly. Let's do this one here. 3 plus 6, and that gives us 9. Does 3 go into 9 evenly? Yes. So we know that 3 goes into both 33 and 36. So in your blank over to the side, you need to put 3. And we need to divide the 33 and 36 by 3. 3 goes into 33 11 times, and 3 goes into 36 12 times. So our reduced fraction now is 11 over 12. E, we have 14 over 26. (14) and 26, what are they both divisible by? What goes into both 14 and 26? It's going to be 2. And we know that because the divisibility rule for the number 2 is it's got to end in a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. And both of these end in a 6 and a 4. Both of these end in a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. So we know it's divisible by 2. We're going to take that 2 and divide it into both of these. 2 goes into 14 7 times. 2 goes into 26 13 times. And our reduced fraction is 7 over 13. F, oh, we're getting way bigger now. 140 over 150. This one's pretty easy. I remember that whenever the divisibility rule for 10 is if the numbers end in 0. And they both end in 0, so we're good on that one. 10 goes into 140 14 times. 10 goes into 150 15 times. So 14 over 15 is our reduced fraction. G, getting even bigger. 270 over 810. Okay, what goes into both 270 and 810? 270 and 810 are divisible by 10. Just like the last one, they both end in 0. So we know they're both divisible by 10. 10 goes into 270. Can I show you a cool trick? If there's zeros here at the end, you can just cross them out. And it'll be 27 over 81. But if you weren't to use that trick, if you were to say how many times 10 goes into 270, you'd still come up with 27. And how many times 10 goes into 810, you'd get 81. The second part of the question says 27 and 81 are divisible by, you got to think, what goes into both 27 and 81? That blank is going to be 9. 9 goes into 27 3 times. 9 goes into 81 9 times. And we have one last blank to do. 3 and 9 are divisible by, well, 3 goes into both. 3 goes into 3 one time, 3 goes into 9 3 times. Your answer, final, a lot of work. Your answer is 1 over 3. 1 over 3. The last one, the biggest number we've used yet, 540 over 612. 540 over 612. First blank says 540 and 612 are divisible by, we got to think what goes into both. Because I have my teacher book here, I can tell you what it is. As you would look through it, you know, it's divisible by 2, but you want to find the highest number that it's divisible by. At least the highest number that we're familiar with in our divisibility rules. The rule for 9 is adding up the sum of the digits, 5 plus 4 plus 0, and what that will equal. And then you ask, does 9 go into that? 9 does. 5 plus 4 plus 0 is 9. 9 does go into 9. So we know 9 goes into 540. Then 6 plus 1 plus 2, that equals 9. So we know that 9 will go into 612. 9 is the answer for the first blank. If you divided 540 by 9, you would get 60. And then if you divided 612 by 9, you would get 68. Then that can be reduced also. 60 and 68 are divisible by, I know 2 goes into both, but there's going to be a higher number that goes into both, and you always want to use the highest number you can think of. 4 goes into both. 4 goes into 60, and 4 goes into 68. So 4 is going to be our answer there. 4 goes into 60 15 times. 4 goes into 68 17 times. And now we have our reduced answer of 15 over 17. (2a), it's telling us to multiply. I'll quickly review that. 2 over 3 times 1 over 5. And remember, when you're multiplying, all you're doing is taking your two numerators, multiplying them, putting them as your numerator in your answer. And then you're taking your denominators, multiplying them, and putting that as your denominator in the answer. So 2 times 1 gives us 2, and 3 times 5 gives us 15. 2 over 15 is your answer for the first one. B, we have 3 over 5 times 1 over 2. 3 over 5 times 1 over 2. 3 times 1 is 3. 5 times 2 is 10. So our answer is 3 over 10. You go ahead and do C and D on your own. And go ahead and do those story problems on your own. Let's go to the Roman numerals. That'll be when you turn your page over, number 4. It says, write the correct Roman numeral for each Arabic numeral. First one, 4a, it's asking, what is 67? What is it written as a Roman numeral? Well, 67 written as a Roman numeral. We'd start with L, because that's 50. And then we would put an X, that's 10. So that gives us 60. And then VII would be 7 more. Okay. Let's do the next one. B, 47. Start with an X and then an L. And if the X comes before the L, we know it's minus 10. L is 50. If the X comes before the L, it's minus 10. So we're at 40 here. And then we need 7 more, just like the last one. So it'd be VII. I'm going to go ahead and have you guys do the rest on your own. You guys are smart. I know you can do it.